Your boy is triggered. I am triggered so goddamn hard because I hate tomfoolery. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
You don't like cleaning up? I like cleaning up. I like cleaning up messes.
I hate when I think everybody can relate to this. Everybody, I think, at one point in time, if not currently, I know at some point in your life, everyone has experienced this. I think everybody at some point has had a boss or a superior, a supervisor, whatever the fuck, that really walked around like they were on it. Like they knew everything that was going on. Business is going great. I'm really kicking ass here. And in reality, knew absolutely fucking nothing of what's happening around them. Just no cognitive, just understanding of anything that's happening. It's almost like the business is going good in spite of this motherfucker who's just aimlessly walking around wondering what's going on. I put TKO because he's a representative of TKO, but we're speaking specifically about the president, Mark Shapiro. He made some comments on an interview where the gist of it is that he would like to see the WWE start to move away a little bit from some of the event names and events.
I was going to say event name and gimmick or just name?
So far, just the name because the branding is in the name.
I don't like.
The branding is in the name. So there are some PLE names that were traditional throughout the years that we've all grown accustomed to over the years that Vince McMahon created. And I feel it's more of an opportunity to try to steer more away from Vince than it actually is the actual branding and the product. I think that's just more of them trying to scrub off the last remaining Vince residue of what this company really is. And one of the things that triggered me in his explanation, because he didn't give examples of names that he wants to get rid of.
I was going to ask if there was one in particular he didn't like.
No, he didn't give an example of names that he wants to get rid of. But he did give an example of a new product or a new name, I should say, that he just fucking loved and went off about how much of a success the event was and what a push into the future. He referred to WrestlePalooza. Now, this is why I'm triggered, because it goes to my analogy of a person who really feels like he's on top of things and has no fucking clue what he's talking about. He talked about WrestlePalooza like it was an original idea and concept. And he snitched on himself when he said that it was Triple H and Nick Khan that pitched the name in the first place and got the event named that following SummerSlam. And the two people that he mentioned that pitched the name to him, I know full fucking well they are aware that that's not an original fucking name. I know for a fucking fact that those two individuals know that that's not an original fucking name. And so if Mark Shapiro thinks that WrestlePalooza was a fucking original concept and a brand new thing that WWE was trying, then oh baby, Mark Shapiro, guess what? We got a whole bag of them shits. I got a whole bag full of original ideas. How about this? Think on this. Instead of SummerSlam, we capitalize on the climate of that time. We do heat wave, or we do, we have a Royal Rumble, right? We put everybody into the ring and it's a rumble. Rumble's so passe. Let's think more of the political climate of today. How about we do World War III? We start taking all and apparently he doesn't fucking know any better.
He's going to take all the WCW pay-per-views.
WCW pay-per-views, ECW pay-per-views. We got a working relationship with TNA, right? Let's bring on turning point. All right, we can do that leading after. That'll be the February pay-per-view.
Backlash into turning point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I got a haul. Hey, let's do. I actually do want them to bring this back. Let's do a little hog wild. Let's do some hog wild. NXT brought back some names: Great American Bash, Halloween Havoc. They probably think those are great ideas. Yo, that Halloween Havoc thing's pretty cool. Let's bring that to the main roster. Yeah, it's just ECW has some good ones. Guilty as charged. Let's bring that one back. Huh? No. Oh, no more Survivor Series. We'll just give them a November to remember. How about that? Let's do that. And he'll just sit there and go. Now, here's where I'm triggered by the idea that he doesn't have a fucking clue what he's talking about. And using WrestlePalooza as an example of an original concept was just weird, and it triggered me to no end. However, and I'm going to get hate for this, it's not entirely wrong. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm not entirely against new names, new concepts, and quite possibly the elimination of one specific concept.
This is also saying this is your chance.
Yeah,
to finally get rid of that.
This is the window I have been looking for. We finally have a reason to get rid of that goddamn briefcase. Get fucking rid of it. Get fucking rid of it. It does nothing for fucking nobody. It helps nobody. You haven't used it to help a single person in fucking years. If anything, it has been a riding safety net. In case of emergency, break open glass and retrieve the briefcase. We don't fucking need it anymore. Now, that's just a concept. As far as names of PLEs go, Backlash. What was the one that replaced? I do love the idea that we got rid of Hell in a Cell as a pay-per-view name. Thank goodness for that. I would love nothing more than to get rid of Elimination Chamber as a concept pay-per-view. We already got rid of TLC.
Elimination Chamber turned into another briefcase.
Yeah. It was an opportunity. Sorta. It was an opportunity to get the runner-up of the Royal Rumble, an opportunity at another belt. That's what it ended up. The Royal Rumble winner goes to WrestleMania, but now we need the other contender.
That's what it was. I'm sorry, not briefcase. The Rumble. You're right. The Rumble. It was like it was a way to kind of pseudo make two Rumble winners.
Yes. Yeah, we'll take the top contenders from the Rumble, put them in their own little match in February. We don't need that. We do not need that. I know that you have two
terrible concept, but like the problem with it is it's too telegraphed. That's the only problem. Very rarely.
You know who's going to be in it.
I don't know who's going to win. Right. Yeah. It's very rare. It's too telegraphed.
Yeah. So as far as like some of the pay-per-view lineups, we have explored some new ones with the clashes. Right, so we've done Clash in Paris, right? We did a Backlash that was in hold on, I'm trying to get it. What are the current pay-per-view names? Because I had it in front of me earlier, and I wanted to point out one very, very specific one. So obviously, like the basic. I would have a hard time. But that's just me because I'm old. Here we are again, living in my nostalgia. I would have a really hard, struggling time to get rid of the Big Four. But I'm not completely against it. Like WrestleMania is the one where I'm like,
you can't change that.
For branding purposes, it makes too much money to get rid of that. And the Royal Rumble, I feel like the prestige behind that, I'm not completely.
To be fair, though, hold on. To be fair, based on the whole thing you're talking about or what they're trying to say, can you really be successful in your goal if you don't get a WrestleMania? If you don't get rid of WrestleMania? That's the main baby that I really
I feel like that's the purpose.
Wrestling.
Yeah, I feel like TKO
it saved wrestling, actually, if I'm not mistaken, right? Wasn't the first WrestleMania he did like a huge Hail Mary? Like, didn't he have to like borrow money and shit
for Vince? I don't think it saved wrestling. I think it saved Vince's position in wrestling.
It saved Vince's company.
If
The
WrestleMania
one that we're talking about right now.
Right. But
So
here's the
that's what I
thing.
mean.
I don't think it saved wrestling though, because had WrestleMania failed and Vince would have went out of business, we just would have had another promoter.
No. That's okay. I don't want to. Okay, that's fine. I said that incorrectly.
Saved WWE for sure.
It saved the company. Yeah. So
for sure, 100%.
So for this point, are you really doing anything if you don't change WrestleMania?
Well, here's more to the nostalgia thing, right? If I'm TKO, if someone says, "Hey, we want to keep WrestleMania because, as you just illustrated, WrestleMania was the event that kept us in business. WrestleMania is not only kept us in business, but we used WrestleMania as a catalyst. As a catalyst every year.
I saw the every dot. Year. It was win or bust with Mania.
As WrestleMania has progressed throughout the years, so has the company. WrestleMania's success builds. If you watch every WrestleMania in a row, it'll be like watching pictures of your child.
See it. You can see the graph
of your child go year 1, year 2, year 3, all the way to like, what are we at now? 42. That drastic change that you've seen over time is what you would see with WrestleMania. So you can make an argument that not only did it save it, but it's not only it's continued to blossom to where it is the industry now. Now it is the industry. The industry is wherever WrestleMania is. That's why so many wrestling companies book their shows and surround themselves around WrestleMania as an event because of how much money it brings. It's a stimulus package for whatever city it's in. That's why people now bid to have it in their city.
It's so big. It's going to Vegas twice.
It's the Olympics. It's the Super Bowl. It's the World Series. It's everything involved. It's all in one for wrestling. However, living in our nostalgic minds, if I'm a Mark Shapiro, if I'm an Amari Emanuel from TKO, and I didn't grow up with that, and it's not a big part of my life, and I'm not that attached to it, I don't give a shit what happened in 1985.
Yeah, but I agree with you, but you also,
as a businessman, they should keep it.
This is one of those things where business will, if you're that person where WrestleMania, you guys really seem to like this thing. I mean, I don't really know why. If you're that guy, on the other hand, if you're him, you understand why people like it because of the money. So where, yes, ignorant is bliss in a situation where you don't have the nostalgia. So if there is someone who wants to do it, it'd be someone who doesn't have an attachment to it. You still got to understand the dollars that's behind it. And to shake something up like that, I don't know. I don't really think it's worth it. I don't necessarily say it's an automatic fail, but I don't see it's not worth the risk. We're touching things for no reason at this point. Trust me. There's other things you can focus on than trying to change the name of something right now.
And I completely agree. And
getting rid of this tag team division, but I digress.
WrestleMania is probably the one event that they have where I feel like there's no negotiation there. That 100% is locked in. It has to be WrestleMania. I mean, even Vince, at one point, I think it was in the early 30s, they tried to get rid of the numbers, where it was just WrestleMania on its own, and it didn't take. We just kept counting.
You count for ourselves.
Yeah, we just kept counting because that's what it is. So they brought it back. Right now, like upcoming is WrestleMania 42. So we're up to date. But that's the one where I'm like, no negotiation. It has to be that. The other three, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, those are the big four. Those are the core four, or part of the core four. And you can make an argument, a very strong argument, because you said it yourself. That first WrestleMania was in 1985, and they hung their hat on that sumbitch for years. But even when that started to slow, the next thing that they had come up the pipe was SummerSlam in 88. And then they had the Rumble, and then they had Survivor Series. I think Survivor Series was actually around in SummerSlam around the same time, and then the Royal Rumble. And the Royal Rumble was literally created to be an aesthetic to WrestleMania. It's the moon to our Earth. Royal Rumble is it's cliche now to hear it, but that's literally why it was conceived. It's the road to WrestleMania. Before, when they used to book WrestleMania, before the Royal Rumble, it used to be built around superstars and talents, but it was booked like every other match, every other card. The Royal Rumble gave you, as an audience member, an opportunity to see spontaneously how this card for WrestleMania will shape up. It's a feeling that audiences still love having to this day. Right now, as we speak, we're gearing up for Survivor Series, and then the Royal Rumble is next.
It's crazy. That shit comes in so fast.
And I've heard people make an argument, and I can't rule it out, that to some people, most people, Royal Rumble is more exciting than WrestleMania because you just don't know. I'll tell you this, it's the one event that my son looks forward to. He doesn't give a fuck about WrestleMania. He loves the Royal Rumble because when we do the Royal Rumble in my house, we have a grid on my wall with the number entrance, and we have the pictures of the wrestlers, and we get to predict who's next, who's coming out, who's going to get eliminated, who's going to win. It's like a game, and he gets to play, and he loves to play. We took that game to Joe Pombo's house last year. We brought our grid with us. And they got into the grid. They were like, who you got over there? No. He's coming out. And every year I do the same thing. It's like number 11. Who's coming out? I go, Zack Ryder. Every year. One day I'm going to be right, God damn it. Actually, this year I got to change it now. Maybe Matt Cardona will come out. I don't know. But the Royal Rumble is that other one where I'm going to be like, it would be really tough. Like all these other shows, the Survivor Series and the SummerSlam and Royal Rumble, it would be a really hard sell, and I would have to really adjust, but I'm not against it. WrestleMania is the only one where I'm like, I'm against it, full stop. Those three, not against it, but it would be an adjustment for me. Every other one, I got them in front of me. Backlash, Money in the Bank, Night of Champions, the Clashing series is new. We'll keep that because they've done Clash in Paris. They've done the Milan shows, the overseas ones, Vengeance, Battleground. I think those are NXT ones we're looking at now. Yeah, all those, fuck it. You could toss them. I don't give a shit. I'm not married to any fucking one of those. You can do whatever you want with those. If you want to start coming up with different names and different concepts and all that stuff, that's another thing. That's hard in wrestling. Another concept, right? So like the Royal Rumble is like etched in everybody's mind. But everything after that is just gimmick matches. The Royal Rumble is a gimmick match, but it's like, it's pristine. It's up there. All the other gimmick matches, TLC, Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, all these different things they've come up with, I think we've learned over time that gearing a whole show around that is odd. Even the next pay-per-view we got coming up, Survivor Series, I don't like the fact that the War Games is attached to that. I liked the 5-on-5 matches way more than I like the War Games matches. The War Games matches are okay, but there's no. I like
my problem with it. My problem is that you're putting wrestlers in a position to have to do something spectacular.
Yes, there it is.
Having a good,
there you go.
Having a 5-on-5 match, you can find ways to have.
You could tell a great story with that without having to tell a great story.
You put a cage and 2 rings and a bunch of assholes in it. Someone has to do something.
And you took the route. So now they have to jump off the cage.
Someone has to kill themselves. And although that is fun to watch sometimes, and I agree with you.
Goes up there one more time with that trash can, I am going to throw up. I think
you're putting wrestlers in a position to force themselves to do something spectacular when we've seen matches like the Rhea Ripley and Io Sky where you can tell great stories and you don't need anything spectacular as far as like gimmicky is what a word I'm looking for to really drive that point home. You can tell stories through your wrestling, and you can do that with 5 people in Survivor Series and stuff like that.
Yes,
so I agree, like
100%.
So I feel like your point is that don't fuck with the big 4. but there are rooms to improve on other things.
Yeah, everyone just went nuts about don't change, but they have. They have changed. I have the list right in front of me. Some of these are brand new concepts. The Clash in the Series, which is a take on the Clash of Champions from WCW. So, see, as another one. You were making jokes earlier about me taking WCW. They already did it. You could take Backlash from me. You can take Money in the Bank. They don't even call it Backlash anymore. Now it's WrestleMania Backlash, so that
That's
people
weird. Why'd you make it longer?
Well, it's to kind of give the impression that there's this is the B side of WrestleMania. This it's like night 3 of WrestleMania takes place 30 days later. It's fucking weird.
You know what? My takeaway from listening to this and stuff like that if they do this, I know it's not good and it won't ever happen because regressions is very tough to do. But like you said, pull back on some of that shit, man. Like every pay-per-view doesn't have to necessarily sell the next big thing. Like you can tell smaller stories. You can have more basic matches that have good wrestling and stuff.
Well, it's what sucks for
everything
WWE.
Doesn't have to be a Money in the Bank.
Correct. What sucks about WWE at the moment is that across the street, they're doing everything every night. And so what happens is that the comparison between the two companies is you have one company who is breaking every table, every chair, every glass window, throwing people off of the highest things possible on a nightly basis. And then the other company that basically talks to you all night. Most of these shows is promos and commercials, and we'll have a 3-hour pay-per-view with 5 matches where the longest match was 18 minutes. And you still filled 3 hours. A lot of it is promos and talking and more promos and vignettes and commercials for Saudi Arabia and upcoming events. And it's turned to WWE's pay-per-views or PLEs have turned into boxing events. It's more of talking in between. They go so far sometimes as to kick it from the commentary team back to the fucking the table that was talking during the pre-show. They'll get them some comments in before we get to the next. Like everybody gets a fucking turn. Meanwhile, at AEW, there's 17 matches. All of them have a minimum of 6 people each, and everyone has to bleed. at least 3 members of every match has to bleed. So there doesn't seem to be any fucking middle ground on either side. One moves like molasses, and the other one sets the tree on fire. I mean that literally. Darby has a blowtorch that he brings to the fucking ring now. So it is what it fucking is. I don't know. Every time I try to turn that channel back on, there's some other shit.
Quickly reminded why you keep that motherfucker off.
I hadn't seen an AEW clip in like forever, and then it came up in my recommended, and it was Jon Moxley drowning Darby Allin in a fish tank that only fits his head. It's not like a whole body in a thing of water. It's like just his head tipped over, and he's just flailing. Please don't drown me, sir. And then it was just okay. All right, we're just gonna just move it along, folks. Let's just keep it going. Now I just found out they're putting 12 women in Blood and Guts. 12 women will be inside their version of the War Games match. Which, by the way, Cody brought the War Games match to AEW because it was a Dusty special. And then Cody left, and they kept the fucking match. So they're doing Blood and Guts around the same time that Cody himself is about to compete inside the War Games in WWE. This is hilarious stuff.
The parallel universes are very real.